Alright, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle, and today is going to be the first part of hopefully a few discussion pieces in upcoming videos where I want to talk about the Xbox One, PS4, and Wii U era. So this latest generation that we are now in started in, technically the end of 2012 with the Wii U, eventually PS4 and Xbox One at the end of 2013. So we've been in it for about 1.5 to 2.5 years with these new consoles and new games. And for a few of these videos that are going to come in the future, I want to talk about the pricing of the consoles and the games themselves, buying games on day one in this new generation, and this video specifically I want to talk about if this new generation feels like we've arrived at this new generation, and if we've played specific games that feel like, okay, this is the new era of gaming. Because I don't feel like we've hit that yet. We're getting closer, but still 2.5 years with the Wii U, 1.5 with the PS4 and Xbox One. I really don't feel like there's this one game that I'm like, this is, the new generation of gaming, in my personal opinion. And I really want to hear if anybody has a game out there that they really feel like this really shows off the era of new gaming. And I want to specifically talk about some games here. So I was looking at what a lot of games have been doing this generation. And a lot of the big games are actually sequels. So some of the games that I've had the most fun with, or that a lot of people are having fun with, is sequels. So Dragon Age Inquisition, Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Brothers, etc., etc. It's games that we've been able to play previous series to, so they're still, most of the part, improved editions of these, but we've experienced very similar games to this because it's a continuation of their series. Nothing wrong with that, but that to me, I want something new is what I'm talking about in this specific video. So then I looked at some other games that I've enjoyed from this new era that are newer. I say that because some of them are still very same mechanics, but they're technically new. So one of those is Hyrule Warriors, Zelda with a Dynasty Warriors kind of gameplay. But it is different. But Nintendo really has a lot of games that are just additions, and I can't really fault them for that because that's what people like, that's what people enjoy. They are coming out with Splatoon, but that's the whole point of this video, is that we're not there yet. We still haven't played like really new IPs from them. This one kind of constitutes as a different, because it's a different take on Zelda. It's the Zelda storyline with Dynasty Warriors with a Zelda coat of paint on it. But probably my favorite game out of this new generation that's new, that's different, is Nintendo Land, which is a party game. Not a lot of people like this because, it's mini games. But I really have a blast with this, playing this local multiplayer. You don't have online multiplayer, which is really unfortunate because I think that's one of the things that Nintendo is really lacking, and that's a whole different discussion piece altogether. Online with Nintendo is different. They unfortunately don't do it. But anyway, the local multiplayer, if you have 4 or 5 people playing this, it's a blast. So that's one of the games that I've had the most fun with this generation. Now we get into games that also, unfortunately, are on other systems. So Titanfall was one of the games that I enjoyed a lot this generation. And I just picked a few. There's other games too that I enjoyed, like Plants vs. Zombies, etc. There's other games too that I enjoyed, but they are all on other systems as well that are last generation, Xbox 360 and PS3. Xbox 360 has this game as well. This is still constitutes, because if you want the superior version, you generally have to play on the superior console, Xbox One or PS4. But there's still a lot of games out there that you can get on both systems. The old version and old system and new system. And another thing that this generation is the most guilty of, and it's not necessarily a negative because it's still very fun, but they are remastering a lot of games. Now, if it's just something that came out last year or 2 years prior, something like, Grand Theft Auto 5, for example, does it really need to be on the next generation console? To an extent, some of these games have multiplayer, so that's perfectly fine. I actually want to pick up Grand Theft Auto 5, but I played everything from Grand Theft Auto 5 before on, for me it was the PS3. So I've gone through the entire storyline, I've gone online. Granted, I can do more stuff online now with, the next generation. It's better graphics. Not knocking remakes at all, I buy them. as you can see. Once in a while they'll come out with something like this though, which is a remake of something that is a whole bunch of games that I haven't played for a long time. So it's not just, you know, PS3, Xbox 360 era. These games, Halo and Halo 2, are from Xbox, you know, original. So it's, you know, quite a long time since I've played these games. So it's kind of cool to do that. And this is the game that, out of all the games that I showed you now, I've had the most fun with going back and playing, mostly because I just love the Halo 2 multiplayer. But what I'm talking about mainly in this video, I just wanted to show that there are still great games out there. I'm still really having a good time, multiplayer, local multiplayer, but I want a really big single player game. And I know that that's another discussion altogether, which is why I want to have a bunch of discussion pieces, but I want to just briefly touch them here, is that a lot of games are having, the focus is on multiplayer. Once in a while, they do focus on the single player, and I find that this generation, there's a lot of letdowns. For example, Watch Dogs. I actually really like the multiplayer on this for the hide and seek reasons, but the single player aspect, you know, when we first saw this at E3 2012, I believe, I was excited and I thought this was going to change the face of gaming. Not change the face of gaming, but I just thought that this was going to be a really new kind of game. And I think that Watch Dogs, it is on PS3 and Xbox 360 too, isn't it? So anyway, once again, you can experience them on the previous consoles. But I just really thought that, you know, this game, Destiny, they were really gonna, you know, we finally hit a game. But I don't think we've had that yet. You know, I'm trying to think of something that we've hit, but to me, maybe it's just my personal taste, but I haven't hit this game other than maybe, honestly, Nintendo Land is the only one that comes to mind, and that is not everybody's cup of tea. It's mini games, and that's not, mini games is not a next generation, you know, game that you want to be saying, you know, this was the Xbox One, Wii U, and PS4 era. This is what it was all about. It's mini games. It's just really done well, and it's fun with a bunch of people, but I want a big single player game that really changes it. Like I said, you know, you can't really count Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Dragon Age. We've all played these before, and almost all of the Wii U exclusives, you know, we've played them all before. They are coming, and I feel that even some of these, you know, series, because that they're so different from before, like I really feel like Uncharted 4, I'm gonna have a great time with. Far Cry 4, you know, there are certain games that, you know, it feels next generation, but we've played these games before. So I'm just wondering if there is any game out there, or maybe a few games that you really feel are new, a new IP possibly, and just really changed gaming. And even if it is a sequel or a part of a series, let me know, because if there's enough change in it, this is just a discussion piece that I just really want to get into, and I really want to talk about this on my next live stream when I'm talking with Kevin and hopefully Jason as well. Hopefully maybe this weekend or coming up soon. So thank you all for watching. You've been bearded in. Beardage.